Is Fabian Schar, the Swiss hunk of a centre-back, a little bit underappreciated? No Bruno in the middle, so he doesn't know what we need for the next couple of games, but does Eddie Howe know what he needs in his place? Absolute shithousery at its finest from Mad Dog, from Popey, and that's why we're becoming the most disliked team in the league. And a bit of a controversial one, but Kieran Trippier's performances the last couple of games, maybe not up to par, if I'm allowed to say that. The last word from the Fulham game on Sunday is coming up, so please stick around. Welcome back to Black and White Banter, you lovely, lovely Newcastle fans. It's a pleasure to be doing another video on another glorious week supporting Newcastle United, fresh in the aftermath of that Fulham game. I'm not going to talk too much about that. I did that on my last word, my match vlog. Sorry, should I say, this is the last word video. So if you haven't already seen my Fulham match vlog, just go a little bit further down. Fan interviews, final thoughts, videos inside the stadium. You know how we operate now if you're not new to Black and White Banter. Which brings me on to my next thing. If you are new to Black and White Banter, or if you're not, if you're a returning subscriber who's thought, ooh, he's uploaded a new video, I'm going to give that a watch, please drop down and give us one of them now. That's what goes a very long way, and it takes you no time at all. Even if you've just stumbled here because you were looking for a cooking recipe, whack that little like before you go and find out how to make your Victoria sponge. Do that now. Get us across all social media, Black and White Banter, content on there every day. Merchandise. We sell merchandise now. So if you'd like this on your very own hoodie or mug or scarf, let me know. I can hook you up. And if you like my opinion by the end of this video, just drop down and give me a little likey-loo. Little subscribe, should I say. So it's the final word, the last word. Before we move on to pastures new and fixtures new, Crystal Palace on Saturday. And Sunday was good. It wasn't the best game we're ever going to see at St James's Park, mainly because it was a Sunday at 2 o'clock and 3/4 of the stadium were probably as rough as hell. Atmosphere was a little bit subdued until that fantastic penalty fiasco with Mr. Mitrovic. We knew he was a Newcastle fan. We knew he wants to see us get the Champions League. We know he wants to see Joe Linton playing at the Bernabeu. He's one of us. Did he intentionally slip over? That's another debate for another day from you conspiracy theorists. But my God, that is the most ridiculous thing I'm ever going to see at St James's Park. In terms of luck, that was incredible. So thank you, Mitro, because not only did you ramp the crowd up a little bit, Isaac came on and we all just got him a little bit more hyped, and bang, you know the rest. When Newcastle knock on the door, we don't always find an answer, because if we did every game, we'd probably be top of the league. If we'd beat Palace, Bournemouth and Leeds and whatnot, who've played, let's just say, very defensively. But we found a way. And it was a fantastic end to another weekend supporting Newcastle United. And things are pretty much rosy in the garden. Cup semi-finals on the horizon. Casual. Third in the league, back above Man United. Casual. Best defence in the whole fucking world, pardon the French. Casual. Which brings me on to my first point of the last word. I could talk about so many things. Fabian Schar. The hunky, cool, calm, collected, slick-haired, handsome Swiss cheese of a man. And I don't even bat for that team after all them complimentary words, but that's what he does to us Newcastle fans. Is he going a little bit under the radar with regards to praise? Now, one of my subscribers, if you're watching this video, commented under the match vlog that he thought Fabian Schar was his man of the match against Fulham. That got me thinking. I went and laid in bed, thought about Fabian Schar, as probably every Newcastle fan has at some point, and thought, is him and how integral he's been to that back five going a little bit under the radar? I think it does, because Sven Botman is new to the league, younger. He's been incredible. You know, if I was going to pick a winner of the two, I would pick Sven Botman. Sorry, Fabian. Your good looks don't always get you everywhere. Because he's new to the league, and because I think Sven Botman in 4 years' time, if he's still Geordie, thank God, please still be a Geordie. He could be the best defender we've ever seen in a black and white shirt, which is a big statement, but I think it's true. He looks almost complete, and we only see in him the start of something with him. He could actually be the real life Batman. He could be Bruce Wayne, I'm still not sure. But Fabian Schar has complimented him so well, and I think because he's been such a part of the furniture and he's been at the club a bit longer than most of the star players in that team, your Brunos, your Trippiers, your Botmans, the highlight of the new signings that you focus on a bit more, I think that's maybe why he goes under a couple of Newcastle fans' radar. He is still yet to experience defeat in a Newcastle shirt. If we lose and he has to walk off the field with us being defeated, he's not going to know what to do with himself. Does he go for a drive through McDonald's? Does he listen to some sad music with a tub of Ben and Jerry's? He's not going to know what to do because he's been that good this season. I think him and Botman complement each other because they have so many of the same qualities. But Schar has his own, and I think that he proved that against Fulham on Sunday. He likes to be involved. We know he likes to play midfield. We know he likes a shot more than the average defender. And my God, has he scored a couple of screamers in his time at Newcastle this season, obviously against Nottingham Forest. But he likes to be involved. He almost got an assist against Fulham on Sunday. He hit the post from a free kick we all expected Trippier to take. He loves getting amongst it. He's not a shy kid at all. Goes with the territory of looking the way he does with them cheekbones. So he's got that passing ability in his locker, the same as Botman. Likes to carry the ball out, but he's also a little bit better in that final third. And we could play him in midfield if we ever needed to. I know Eddie Howe's short in that department. If push came to shove, we could play the man in midfield. His long passing's fantastic. We know he can hit a pass. Maxi on your bike, Almira on your bike. But I just think Fabian Schar maybe needs to be shown a bit more love from us. I wish we had a chant. Why do we not have a Fabian Schar chant? We should. He's been here long enough. I know it's a hard name to put into something. I don't know who makes up chants. Does someone just sit with like a songwriter and just sit in a studio and write lyrics? I don't know. But he needs one. Next point for me is the reason that I think Newcastle are becoming one of the most disliked teams in the league, and I absolutely love it. So if anyone noticed on Sunday, Nick Pope was called over to the halfway line to speak to Mr. Jason Tindall, and he said something in his ear, and then a couple of minutes later Nick Pope goes down with a mystery injury and Bruno gets a bit of chance to get strapped up. And I just love it. I absolutely love it. Everyone is on board with this scenario and this style of we will do whatever we have to do to win. If it's not Lascelles taking yellow cards on the on the sideline when he's not even on the pitch, if it's not players going down for extended amounts of time just where necessary, Pope helping Bruno get some strapping on his ankle, the managers are involved in it. Would we hate it if it's another team doing it against us? Of course we would, but that's the same as saying, like for me, I think some footballers are absolute knobs, but if they were playing for me, I'd probably love them. Andy Robertson has been an example for Liverpool. I think he's an absolute Scottish TWAT. I think he loves himself, and he's one of them I'd just love to punch. Just one of them faces. He's always so sure of himself, even in his interviews. But I'm sure if he played for me, I'd absolutely love him as a passionate Scot. So it's the same with these sort of games and things. Until we get told that we can't do them, it's all about winning. And as Eddie Howe keeps repeating, we are not here to be liked, we're here to compete. And if that means Nick Pope goes down with a fake injury so Bruno can get a strap on his leg, then so be it. Klopp's rattled by us, Arteta's rattled by us. Marco Silva on Sunday for Fulham looked absolutely rattled by us. It's continuing. Is the Saudi money a contributing factor to that? Newcastle's always been that team that every club and every manager would happily say, these deserve a bit of success. Now we might be getting it. They're a little bit jealous, aren't they? With the flag displays and the full houses and they've got more money to spend than I do, and it's all playing into it. And Eddie Howe, I think, is lapping it up, which is why he keeps saying we are here to compete, not to be liked. And I'm all for it. And fair play to War Flags for sticking that on the banner on Sunday. With the talk of Bruno, that brings me on to my next point. So obviously, it was awful to hear about Bruno going down injured. We don't hope it's not too serious. I don't think it is. Craig Hope, as I'm making this video, has said that he thinks it's a couple of weeks, but it looks like he may miss Crystal Palace on Saturday. I think that's a given. Then you've got St Mary's on Tuesday for that huge semi-final against Southampton. One of the biggest games of my life. And he's a huge miss in that. I don't want him rushed back. There's a bigger picture here for sure. As much as I'd love him to come in that central midfield for that game, he'll want to be in that. He's an emotional guy and he loves playing football. So fingers crossed he does. But where does this force Eddie Howe's hand? I don't think it forces him to do anything in the transfer activity that he wouldn't have already done before. His injury, it's not long term. He knew he needed a central midfielder before this Bruno injury. He's kept on talking about it. We are short in that department with Shelby's injury. A lot of people out there would say Maximin naturally comes in with Willock and Joey moved into the middle. Not for me. And not for me for a number of reasons. I still don't think Maximin is lighting up any left-hand sides of the pitch in the game time that he's had, and I know it's only little minutes here and there. I also don't think 2 away games in 3 days, Eddie Howe's going to have any faith in Maximin to do a really sturdy job on the defensive side. I watched St. Maximin on Sunday see a danger as Fulham counter-attacked. There was one man in the middle. We were a bit short, totally by himself in our 18-yard box, and he didn't. He had a lot of ground to cover to get there, and he might not have even got there, but he didn't even run. And I had to see it. St. Maximin glancing back and certainly see it because he's 40 yards closer than when I was. And I still worry about him defensively. I also worry about how much he wants to pass the ball now. I've been saying for a while, Maximin is trying to change his playing style to suit Eddie Howe and be part of this team. And you take a bit of the je ne sais quoi out of a player like St. Maximin and you don't have the same play, you just have an average winger. And I still want to see St. Maximin try and take on 3 and 4 players. There's a difference between constantly passing the ball and knowing when to pass and being smart with that football. And I'm not sure Eddie Howe's convinced. I'm really not. I'm still not convinced. I think Eddie Howe would probably look to maybe a Jacob Murphy, maybe a Willock on the left. Maybe, Isaac for me when he's coming on is lighting things up at the moment. I thought he did really well against Sheffield Wednesday to see he hadn't kicked the ball for ages in that 45 minutes that he had in the first half. Obviously he scored, which is going to do him the world of good against Fulham. He looks very bright, very direct. So do you go 4-3-3? Isaac, Wilson and Almiron, and then obviously the work of Joey, Willock and Mr. Longstaff in that midfield? I don't know. I want to know your thoughts on, if it is only 2 matches that Bruno's out, who comes in those 2 away games against Palace and Southampton. And just to finish, I don't want to finish on a negative, and I am worried there's going to be a Newcastle fan calls me a wanker, a deluded idiot in the comments for this. I just want to go on record and say, I love the man. I love his leadership. It picks itself. What he's done, how he took a chance on us, everything about the man. He's a very, 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 very good footballer, and he's in the top category of where he plays. But I also think it's fair to say that Kieran Trippier in the past 3 or 4 matches has not been great. I don't think he has. I think against, even going back as far as Leeds on New Year's Eve, where we had to pump loads of balls in the box, I thought he played at Mellier's hands, the goalkeeper. I thought a lot of them were very floated and his deliveries were poor. I thought against Fulham on Sunday in the first half in particular, very sloppy in possession, gave the ball away a few times. I don't think his deliveries have been very good. We haven't seen him come close from a free kick in terms of a shot on goal for quite a while now. We love to sing it. Kieran Trippier over the wall. I'm one of them ones. I applaud him every corner he takes in the Gallagher end. But I don't think he's been great since he's returned from the World Cup. I don't. I want to know what other people think. I don't think a player's immune from feedback on his performances just because we absolutely love the man. And this is the scenario for me. I'm not saying drop him because Manquillo is solid a job as he does when he gets asked to play in cup games. When he has played, it's like going from a fillet steak to spaghetti hoops on toast, in my opinion, going from him to Trippier. Trippier brings so much. His support for Almiron, his leadership, his aggression in the tackle. Doesn't have much pace, but his set pieces, his corners, his free kicks. I just think he's dropped off a little bit, and that's seen us drop off because we are a team that should be dominating penalty boxes. Joe Linton's tall as hell. Botman's a beast. Shar's lanky. Isaac now in the equation's big. Callum Wilson likes to put himself about in the box. We are a big team. Willock, we know, can score headers from set pieces. So, Dan Burn, God, I'm forgetting about Mr. Pretty Green Eyes, the man from Blythe. He's 6'7". So that's disappointing for me, and I'm curious to see what other Newcastle fans think about Trippier's performances in the last 3 or 4 matches and why they think they've maybe dropped off a little bit. Is it just because he's played so much that we can't expect him to be a world beater every week? I don't know. Newcastle fans, I'm going to sign off there. I could go on and on and on, but even I get sick of the sound of my own voice. So if you've liked this video, drop down, give us a little likey. Whack that subscribe if you've stuck around this long, 'cause why wouldn't you? And I will be going to Crystal Palace on Saturday. I am going to Southampton on Tuesday for that huge semi-final first leg. So there's lots of match vlogs to come. So whack that subscribe button. And every point I've made, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you ask me a good question in the comments, I'll even feature it on future videos. Do that now. And remember, whatever you're up to this week, no matter how hard work is or the stresses and strains of life, you're a Newcastle United fan if you're watching this. And support Newcastle at the moment is fucking class. Don't forget that and have a great week. Away the lads.